Hey YouTube, Diorama Dad here, showing off my very first diorama that I ever made. I made it right as COVID started, just started getting into the hobby. By comparison to the other things I do today, it's very elementary, but I think it's a great starting type project for people just getting into the hobby. You're going to get better every single time that you do it, and YouTube is a godsend for figuring out little small things. So this diorama, obviously Ninja Turtles, made from the 6-inch NECA figures that came out, I think, around 2019, 2020. Beautiful, gorgeous figures, highly detailed. I really wanted the movie looking ones, and so that's why I chose these in particular. The borders of all the diorama here are made out of the same insulation that almost everybody uses in their dioramas. It is just great stuff. You can buy this at Home Depot over in the insulation section, usually the very last wall on the right side, at least all the Home Depots around here. It comes in about 3x3 square purple cubes, not cubes, but squares rather, and you can cut them into whatever shape you want. I do use the same thing down here on this little liner part. Different kind of effects can be achieved by different cutting mechanisms. So if you're using your foam cutter, you can get a nice smooth line. If you're using a knife, you're going to get a smooth line. If you just kind of rip it apart, that gives some fun effects too, which is what you see here. Here I kind of just made some little indentations in the foam and then just ripped it in order to get this little rough looking effect here. So other than this, let's kind of tour around the rest of it. Over here in the top left corner, there was a YouTube video I saw on how to make sewer grates. It was great. If I can find it, I'll link it in the comments, or rather in the description. But this is just a toilet paper roll cut in half, and then these are toothpicks just to make the grate. It's not perfect, but it certainly does the job. I do regret not painting behind it. You can see the brick wall through it. In the future, I probably may go back and repaint that. The drain back here is another thing, just straight from Home Depot. You go to the pipe section, or the gutter section sometimes. It's a 4-inch drain pipe, or drain cover. Perfect. I mean, exactly what I wanted. I didn't have to modify it at all. I traced it onto the foam, cut it out. Down here is the little drip. Great technique using your hot glue gun. Just letting it drip down, using a toothpick or something to manipulate it to give that little drip was really fun. And also putting the green paint around it to give it that, let me lower the camera here, to give it some sort of a goopy effect. Down here, I just painted this sort of a poop green color and then did the same thing with the hot glue, spreading it across here. There's many different ways to do water on YouTube, but this particular way was fine for me because the opaqueness of the color, I didn't really need it to be clear or anything like that. It's supposed to be sewer water. I printed some little newspapers from the movie, just Googled the images, found those. Got the Ninja Rap is Born in the back corner, and then City Crime Escalates here. They're just kind of standing around as debris. I love adding debris more and more now as I do dioramas. It really brings it to life. Back in the right corner here, I'm not sure if it's going to come out super well in the camera. Let me get out of the light. But this is actually customizable bendy straws I got off of Amazon. Again, if I can still find them, I will put a link in the description for you. But they make perfect pipes. They come with all kind of different shapes and sizes, and you can make your own pipes. Love how that came out in the back over there. So lastly, over here is just a ladder. This is just a straw from McDonald's or Burger King or wherever, and then toothpicks as the rungs of the ladder right there. So pretty simple, and from a distance looks great. If you didn't know what you were looking at, you wouldn't be able to know that these are straws and toothpicks and things like that. That's what makes the hobby so fun. And one little shout out that my daughter's favorite piece of this is the little mouse right here that actually comes off of the 90s Turtles Rat King shoulder. So we popped that off, painted it gray, and she put a little pink tail on him, and we put that in, and so that's just a fun little effect too. Painting wise, and brick wise, bricks pretty simple. You're drawing a line with your T-square or a ruler, and then you're just alternating the lines in there. These are terrible bricks by comparison to what I do now, but it still gives you the idea of how to do it. The sides are all here the same, that same brick pattern. Now down here, again, a lot of fun techniques on YouTube for how to do concrete. But for me, for this one, it was my first one, so I wanted to try out something pretty basic. So again, I drew the lines, used a pencil as I pushed down along the line to make sort of an indentation. And then I used those pencils to make, and I don't know how this is going to come out, but little cracks in the concrete. I get a sharper pencil there and just kind of drew some little cracks around in the concrete. Looks great. And then as far as the coloration, I took some black paint, some gray paint. Well, obviously I painted it gray first. I took some black paint, some dark gray, some white, and then literally just sprinkled it down onto here to make that cool little concrete effect. That came out pretty good. I think my modern concrete looks better, but this is definitely serviceable and great for beginners to use. So that's it for my Turtles diorama. Oh, one more thing. I do have a little light up here. It's a little flicker bulb. I don't have it wired yet, otherwise I'd show you. But I always incorporate some kind of lighting into my dioramas. Oh, also, back here, this little sewer grate glows green, which is real fun too. Hopefully I'll be able to come back to this one day and upgrade it a bit. But I still love it as a first diorama. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for some other dioramas from Diorama Dad.